Man City are back in Premier League action on Friday night when they welcome an informed Wolves outfit to the Etihad Stadium. This is actually City's first home game on a Friday since Boxing Day 2008, so a long
Wow.
time since a home game at the Etihad on Friday. Now Wolves have won each of the last six games in the Premier League to secure their top flight status, and they've also climbed up Man United in the process. I'm sure you'll be pleased by that, Stephen.
I mean,
And
most people love United these days. It's not much of an accomplishment, is it?
True. And City themselves, they're also enjoying a positive run of form. They've now gone 8 games unbeaten, winning six of those. They most recently beat Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup at the weekend. Now, while Wolves are just merely playing for pride in this one now, City can ill afford to drop any more points if they are to consolidate a place in the top five. So we've got two informed teams going head to head. Stephen, what are you expecting from this contest? How optimistic are you that City can end Wolves' winning run and pick up three valuable points on Friday?
I am optimistic, and I think City will win. I mean, as good as Wolves have been, they beat Leicester, United, Spurs, Ipswich, West Ham, Southampton in this run of games, and these are all sides below them in the table. So they're all teams struggling right now for form, and it's don't get me wrong, it's a cracking achievement, but they found a bit of form where the others are floundering, near the bottom of the table, and they beat those around him, and convincingly. To be fair, they battered Leicester at the weekend, and a really good performance against Spurs as well when they won 4-2. They're a good side, and of course, Mateus Cunha is angling for a move, somewhere. Probably maybe even Man United, I don't know, but they've obviously got the quality, and they're going to be aggressive, with the wing backs, quality wing backs in what it's worth. Semedo and Aït-Nouri, a cracking footballer. Aït-Nouri in particular, I would love at Manchester City. I think he's a brilliant footballer, and they know how they're playing, and there's not. There's not a great time to play a side who's won six in a row. There never is. Um, the only thing is they are safe now. They're unquestionably safe. They are playing for pride. They're winning games, but I don't think they'll be looking at Manchester City and hoping. Um, Obviously, they've been safe for a long time for what it's worth, but at this point, they're up towards mid-table. I don't think they'll be expecting to win against City, and I think there's an element of like, okay, we've won six games in a row. We'll go away to the Etihad. This might be the game that we slip up there. And as good as they have been, I'd be very disappointed if City don't win this because we need to win it and they don't, which is weird to say at this point, given it's just we're just fourth in the table. But this game is a relative must-win. Win this in Southampton, and we probably are going to get Champions League football at that point because there's a bit of a buffer between us and sixth place right now. But those two victories in the next couple of games will more or less lock it down because that if we keep that, it's 4 points I think currently, isn't it, between us and sixth. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
yeah, 4 points. Yeah, I mean, win the next two, you still got 4 points, presuming Forest or Villa, whoever, win some games there. And at that point, yeah, City going to do it at that point. So yeah, I think Wolves, they're a really good side. They're aggressive, but we found a way to sort of deal with those transition teams. They will try and hit the wingers. They will go through the wing backs, but we have got the pace of Nico Riley now and Mateus Nunes, which has been really, really it's been really useful, and there's a solidity with Vardial and Diaz, and I think the fact that we just played Forest, who gave us a tough time as well, in the second half, I think that will sort of heighten the sentences a little bit as well. And I expect Gundogan to come back in. I expect De Bruyne probably to play this one as well. Yeah, I think we'll have more than enough for Wolves. As good as they are, I think City, we have more to play for, and I think we're a better side.
Yeah, you mentioned potentially a couple of changes. There was sort of a somewhat bold lineup from Guardiola against Forest by bringing Rico Lewis back in to start in midfield ahead of the likes of De Bruyne and Nico Gonzalez and Foden once again all sitting on the bench. But it paid off, I guess, in that sense. And
Yeah.
do you expect Lewis to keep his place, or will he, bring in a more natural midfielder, if you like, for this one?
I don't think he will. I think he obviously wanted Rico Lewis to do sort of what Phil Foden's meant to be doing right now, as in behind the striker, linking up play, contributing to goals. I don't feel Rico will stay in the team. I think he's let Rico have his moment. Rico's been involved in the cup games this season. I still expect De Bruyne to come back in, or Ilkay Gundogan or something like that. I'm not bothered if Rico plays. I think that is his best role in general. And when I saw the lineup, I tweeted about 30 seconds before he scored, actually. It's like, I don't mind Rico Lewis in midfield as long as he's ahead of the other two, because I think he's at his best there when he's knitting things together and harrying around. Very Bernardo Silva-esque in terms of his hustle and his energy and his decision making. Having said that, I just don't see him starting this game. I think Guardiola will make some changes. The defense will be the same because it's working right now. I think Gundogan will come back into the side. He was a really smart introduction the other day. I think the intelligence of the team doubled. And I think Sevilla will probably revert back to the bench. You might see McAtee start again. Like he's Guardiola's sort of enjoying McAtee and Marmoush as the sort of wide strikers that come in as De Bruyne drops deep a little bit, and we might see that return because it's been quite successful so far for us. But yeah, if Rico does play, I'm fine with it. I just don't expect it.
Yeah, and I think for Wolves, if there's one player that City should keep a close eye on, it's probably Mateus Cunha, someone you mentioned earlier. Then he's scored his 15th Premier League goal of the season at the weekend, assisted two other goals as well in Wolves' 3-0 win over Leicester at the weekend. He's been a standout performer for Wolves. Everything seems to go through him. He's their
Yeah.
chief creator, their chief goal scorer. How do you think, City should go about keeping him quiet and nullifying his threat in attack? And how key is that for City?
I mean, the City got a lot better, sort of preventing the gap between midfield and defence, and just not really getting the ball. I think City's approach these days, they've gone back to, if we have the ball, they can't have the ball. It's very simple, and then they force teams to the counter and try and hit us on the transition, which teams got a lot of success over winter. But once they've now got the pace of Nico O'Reilly and the pace of Mateus Nunes out wide, yeah, they'll try and hit Cunha, but the point is the City, they want to have 70% possession. If you do that, the chances that they get when they do get the ball, it'll be rushed, as it always is. And then we've got that base of like two, three central midfielders sitting back ahead of the two centre backs. The O'Reilly and Nunes, they go far forward, but they can get back so quickly. We've got a really good response to transitions now, where at one point it was sort of all over the place. We're not really getting hit on the counter anymore. It happens once or twice, but I think Wolves will look to do that. I think we will look to pin back their wing backs, who obviously offer so much threat and some pace going forward. And I think essentially the plan will be just sort of squeeze Wolves so much that they can't get the ball to Cunha. And if they do, yeah, just harry him, be aggressive on him, and don't let him turn towards goal and run at you, because that's obviously where his skill set is so impressive. But yeah, he's a great player. He'll have his chances. But we did manage to keep, we've managed to keep a lot of very good players quiet recently, so I don't see it might be any different with Cunha.